What's going on, guys? It's William Dauria, and I am a professional real estate investor, and I want to go over what I just discovered looking at new build properties. That's right, a brand new home as an investment property for buy and hold rentals. Let's dive into it.
Welcome to the Smack Fest, the beat down. The SWAT team is here on another beautiful day of shutting the week down.
And if we're just meeting, I live off of passive income alone by the age of 32 years old, and I want to show you not only how I did it, but how you can do the same. So I drove around to about 5 different new home builders, and I was talking with them, right? And you should do the same, and this is why. While I'm making this video right now, we are at what I hope is the peak of the coronavirus pandemic. And what this means with real estate pricing is it is higher than it has ever been. For instance, I'm getting wholesalers sending me properties that are 70 years old for $225,000 that still need work in a not such a great area. Or for the same amount of money, or even less, I can buy in a much better zip code that pays much more, brand new home. Like, how easy is it buying a brand new home? Like, you don't have any rehab. Heck, you get warranties on top of that. Like, it could be a great thing. The only downside is, I'm not gonna say the only downside, but a few of the downsides are these. When you buy a brand new home, and this is the number one downside, is you most likely don't have instant equity in the property. For instance, if you buy a home for, let's say it's a 4-bedroom, brick house, 2-bath, real easy to rent kind of home, you pay $225,000 in North Texas. When you go to do a refi, to pull out a cash out refi, to pull out 100% of your money back, assuming that you bought it with private money or something, they're only going to give you 75% of what you just paid. And what you just paid is most likely what the appraisal is going to come back at. See the problem? So you're always having to leave some money in the house. That's really the downside. Is I was doing the calculations, like every house I'm basically going to have to leave like $70,000 in every single property I buy. So that's money that I can't get back out. That stays in the house. That's the money that I can't pull back out because I don't have enough equity in the property. Ideally, you want to be in the property for 75% of the total appraisal. At this point, you're in it for, 100% of the total appraisal. Okay, but this is not the biggest issue. Okay, you thought that was, oh shoot, I don't have $70,000 to leave in every single house. That's another issue that can be overcome, and I want to show you how. But this is the biggest issue. When you walk in and you're talking to the managers of the builders, one of the first questions you want to ask is, do you sell to investors? Because majority of them do not sell to investors. Matter of fact, as soon as I said I was an investor, they basically shot me down. They put the boot on my back and pushed me out the door. Well, not literally, but basically they shut down. They were like, we don't sell to investors. There's nothing we can do for you. And I was like, oh, hey, I'm not going to destroy this neighborhood. Like, what is going on? But that's the way they look at it. But this is why. So I was wondering, I said, well, maybe they don't want this neighborhood to turn into like an investor neighborhood, a renter neighborhood, and maybe renters don't take care of the house as good. Like, what's the reason behind this, right? So I did a little bit of research online, and this is what I found out, is that the loans that they're buying, basically when you get a loan from the new builder, they're taking that loan and then they're selling it to the marketplace, to, like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And this is the issue, is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac has a limit of how many investment properties can be in that neighborhood. For instance, I found a number that said 50%, okay? So that means if you have, or if you're a new home builder and you're building houses and you sold your first 50% of houses to investors, because you've reached that limit, nobody now can get a loan for any of your properties anymore because you've already reached that cap. So that's why initially they don't sell to investors. Now, towards the end of the building cycle in that neighborhood, once the neighborhood basically what they call matures and they have, say, 10 houses left or 15 houses left, they will sell you a home no problem because they don't have to worry about going over that limit. But initially, when the new neighborhood comes up, talk to them. If they say no, wait and watch that neighborhood, and then once it's mostly built out, go back, because not only could you get in, but you can get in for a really good deal because they are wanting to wrap up that project and they might make you a great deal in order to get out from under it. I just bought a home for $281,000, and This was 2 years ago, and I've already got about $60,000 in equity into it, and it was a brand new home because they were willing to give me a discount because the neighborhood was almost completed. So, and it's been a great house. I would do it again, and that's the reason I'm looking or potentially considering new builds. Now, you want to look at something very, very specific when you're looking at this stuff. You want to look at the zip codes specifically where these are. And I tell you why, guys. Because I'm looking to get into the Section 8 program soon, and my mortgage payment, after I put down my 20% down, because I'm an investor, can't get away with putting down 3%, it's not a primary residence. So you put down your 20% investment down payment, and then it's going to bring my payment to about, I was doing real rough math, you know, but about $1,450 per month, okay? So at $1,450 per month, in the zip code I was specifically looking for, they will pay up to $3,470 per month with the 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom setup that I was looking for. And they will pay between 90 and 110% of that amount. So you can get a little bit less, but you could get a little bit more. You need an inspector to go out there. I'm in the process of this all right now. So as I learn more about this, I'm going to teach you exactly how to start from step one, from ground zero, and build your empire up from there. But this is the point I'm getting to, guys, is when your payment is $1,400 a month, $1,450 a month, and you're potentially getting over $3,000 a month paid for by the government, your spread on that deal is enormous, guys. You could do as many of these deals that you possibly could get your hands on, because every single deal cash flows the minute you get a renter, guys. That's how this deal can be so great. So yeah, you left $70,000 in this project, but if it cash flows $1,800 a month for $70,000, that's still attributed to your net worth, and the new home appreciations are going up like crazy. She literally told me this. She said, we just went up $1,000 today, and we just went up $2,000 last week, and we're about to go up $10,000 starting next month. Just on new builds, because, well, the cost of construction and all that has really gone up. So even if you were to buy that house and just sell it in 2 years for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, you'll still get your money back, and the investment is really like a no risk. Like, can you imagine buying a stock, for instance, and saying that in 2 years I can sell this no matter what happens and get my money back? How many of those would you like to have? Because I'll tell you what, if I can get a guaranteed buyback on something that's going to be paying me a monthly dividend, I'll buy as many as I possibly can, because it's basically, I hate to say no risk, but it's such low risk that it's worth it to get into. That's why I don't put a lot of money into the stock market, for instance, because hey, you know, you wake up and you know, that stock that's been doing this for the last, since 2012, I think we might know what we're talking about. I used to drive one, is amazing right now, but it could change literally any day. And that's what's so scary about that. This video is basically coming at you saying that new builds still, with the right method, can be a good investment if you get it for the right price. However, they are most likely a cash-only play. Basically meaning you're only really gonna make cash flow initially. You're not gonna get a whole lot of equity right off the bat. Like, for instance, if you were to buy a used house, do they even call them used house? You know what I mean, right? A non-new build, and do some rehab to it immediately, you could potentially get out of there with, you know, $30,000, $40,000 equity, give or take, on that property within a couple months. You're not gonna get that with new builds. However, you can build 15 at the same time if you want, and they're all the same. They all have good warranties. Like I said, you're not going to get the instant equity that you would have through the other houses, but you're also going to get a lot less headache and potentially better cash flow if the inspector comes through and gives you maybe that full asking amount or a little bit more for the Section 8 program, because it's a new build in a good neighborhood. That's all I got, guys, for today. If you like this content, consider subscribing. Smash that like button. Let me know if you have any comments below. I want to answer them personally. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one.